Hi friends, so today we are going to make a really cute chipboard album, folio, brag book, photo album, whatever, journal, whatever you wanted to use it for. And for starters, I've used medium weight chipboard, and these two pieces are 4.5 inches by 6.5 inches. And I will have all the measurements below the video too on my YouTube channel, so be sure and check those out. I will say them here, but they will also be below. And then this piece of chipboard is 1.5 inches by 6.5 inches, just one of those. And that will be the center binding. And you can use cardstock, but I choose to use some vinyl, just the kind that you use in your cutting machines. But you can use cardstock, and this size is 12.5 inches by 7.5 inches. And so you start off by taking the backing off of that. And I have vinyl on hand, so I'm choosing to use that, but the cardstock is, the one thing I like better about the vinyl is that it, you know, sometimes when you're making an album and you fold the cardstock, it starts to tear sometimes. And then the other piece of cardstock or vinyl you need is 3 inches by 6.5 inches. So to start off with, we will put this about a 1/2 inch all around. And just, it's already sticky, so that's handy. And then the center piece, and we're going to put roughly about 1/8 inch in between each piece of chipboard. And the same with this piece. And just, I'm eyeballing it, but I'm just lining it up as best I can. Okay, so we've got that. And then I've got this neat little Fiskars cutting tool. Just kind of sticks your fingers in there, and then just miter the corners. And don't go clear to the corner. In fact, I cut it pretty close there, but it'll be okay. And then leave a little bit of, don't go right to the corner, but leave a little bit out. And that way when we fold it up, it will cover the chipboard nicely. So you just kind of make a curved piece there on the corner. And there is more on this side, as you can see, and that's totally fine. Last one here. Okay, now you can fold it up just like this if you want, and that's actually what I'm going to do too. I was thinking about putting a little bit of glue too, but there's going to be paper and everything on top of this, so just folding it up should just be just fine. And it really doesn't matter what side or edge you do first. And you can see the vinyl, you know, has a tendency to pop up a little bit. And that's why I was thinking to add a little glue too, but again, it will be perfectly fine because we're going to put paper over the top, and we will really glue and tape the paper on the top. Okay, and then here's the front and back. Just press it all around the edges and in both those seams of the binding, and just, you know, press it and get it stuck on there really, really well. Okay, then back over here. Now, this is going to go right here. And before you do that, you do want to put some glue. Just make it a little sturdier hold. So just tear that backing off. Whenever you're being watched, everything goes slower. Have you noticed that? Boy. There we go. And it's about 1/8 of an inch on this end and 1/8 of it on this end. And I always use a napkin, a Kleenex, a paper towel, something to press down. It just seems to work better than my fingers. And you can kind of see the glue marks under there, but that will flatten out. Now press in those seams really well. Okay. And you can kind of fold it and guide it. Make sure it's going to bend really well. And here's the base of your book, obviously. Okay, so you've cut out all your decorative papers. And so these are the 4 I'm using for the inside and the outside of my covers. So these are the same. And these are the same. So I need to decide which. I think I'll put these on the inside. So what I'm going to do, and I got this double-sided skinny tape, and I got this on Amazon, and the link will be below. So I just, you can do it however you want. I just kind of set it on my wrist, and then I'm going to go around all the edges. And if you want, you can just glue it as well. But where the vinyl is kind of sticky, I think the tape will help it a lot better. So that's how I'm going to do this. I love this paper. I got it at Hobby Lobby. It's got all kinds of fun pinks and purples and blues and greens and yellows, butterflies, and mostly flowers. Okay, I got all 4 of these taped, the double-sided tape, and these for the covers, this decorative paper measures 4 1/4 inches by 6 1/4 inches, and you cut 4 for the front and back, inside and outside covers. Take all that backing off, and then I will put a little bit of glue on it as well. Just want to really secure it on there. And this will go on with about an inch or 1/8 inch border as well. Roughly about that. And same on the front. Now this tutorial, I also have a digital tutorial, and it's in my Etsy shop, and that link will be below too. So it's kind of nice if you want to print it off and just have it right in front of you instead of watching a video. You know, everybody has their preferences. So I'm going with this video tutorial. Now I will have both ways to make this album, but it's so cute and it's such a fun album. Versatile. Make them as gifts. And I'm just eyeballing it and trying to put it down right in the center of that area. And that is the inside of my book. Now I will do these outside pieces. And I'm using Tombow liquid glue. This is my favorite, but any kind, whatever your favorite liquid paper glue is that you use, just use that. I want to make sure how, okay, so this is going to be the top, so. It's hard to get it on perfect, but we got it pretty close there. And it doesn't really matter with these flower patterns, but I still kind of want to decide how I want it. Goodness. I think the tip of my glue might be clogged just a little bit because it's kind of coming out slower than it normally does. Okay, looking really cute already. So that's going to be the base of my book. Okay, so now I'm going to set this aside and let's work with all of our pages. So this is the cardstock, and these are the regular pages I made in white with no pockets. And I made six of these. So there's 6 pages right here. And then I made 4 pages that will have the fold up pockets. And so on these, I've already made my score lines, except not the bottom score line. So I'm going to get my paper trimmer. And so you score these at 4 1/4. So this is, first of all, okay, this is 8.5 inches by 8 3/4. So just a 1/4 inch longer than it is wide. So I'll say it again, 8.5 inches by 8 3/4. So you score it at 4 1/4, and then rotate it and score at 6 1/4. So I'm going to have some white, some blue, and some green pages that I'm going to put all the decorative papers on. And I've got 3 different patterns of paper, so it's just going to be bright and cheery and colorful. Okay, now let's take all of our pages and we will fold them on the score lines and burnish them really well. Press down. and you will have 10 pages in total. Six regular pages. Well, it will end up being 40 pages, but from these 10 pages of cardstock. These all burnished. Pocket pages do the same thing with these, but there are 2 score lines to fold and press down. So you fold, this is where that's going to be the pockets. Now, what we do on these is open or fold it like this, and we are going to cut an angle triangle. So here's the folded edge. And you choose, just kind of go straight line up to that score line. Now keep one of these because you will need it later when we're working with the decorative paper that goes on top. So there is that one. And just kind of make sure they're all the same, or very close at least. I decided it was probably better to make a line, and that way they will for sure be all the same. Okay, now we get to glue all of our decorative papers on any way you want. And you just need to decide maybe how you're going to arrange your pockets, maybe white, blue, white, green, or something like that is what I'm going to do. Just to kind of make it kind of uniform. White and then green. So I think that's the order I'm going to do those. And so now you just take your decorative paper in whatever order you want, and these are the 3 papers that I'm going to be using on my pages. And so you just use your decorative, your liquid glue. I think I'll start with this side. And there should be an 1/8 inch all around the edges. And like I said, I got this paper at Hobby Lobby, and the colors all coordinate with each other quite well, I think. There's a couple that are a little darker than others, but I think they look really pretty together. So I'm just going to show you what's a little different when we get to the pocket page. probably need to stick a pin in this hole, see if I can unclog it a little bit. This glue, you have a couple seconds to move it if you like set it down wrong, but it adheres pretty quick. And so you have to be kind of quick. Okay, there's my first one. Now you don't want to tape or glue these pockets up yet. And this is why, is because you want to put the papers in first. Let's see though, to keep with my pattern, I think I'm gonna do this one. And then go inside. Now I'm going to go ahead and get all these pages covered and then we will be okay. I've got all of my pages inside and out with the decorative paper. And so now we're going to work on the pocket pages. So you need to take one of your triangles that you cut out and put two next to each other and put this right in the middle. And then that way you will have the right angle for your pockets. And that's where you will cut those out. And these little pieces will go on top of the pockets and they will have the same angle as the pocket. And I failed to mention that each of the, so you need 40 of these decorative pieces of paper and they are cut 4 inches by 6 inches. And again, the measurements will be below. But it's really nice because 4 by 6 fits perfectly in a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. So you can get 6 of these in one sheet of 12 by 12 paper. And you can arrange these any way you want it. You can match up the same pattern with the same on this, but I'm going to try, if I can, put a different decorative paper on the pocket. Okay, so now we get to cut all these out. So you see you'll have opposites that will go once they're folded up. So, oh, so then I'll have to turn them. That's right. Okay, so I've got these all cut out now. I'm still trying to keep my pages in order. I'm just kind of funny that way. I don't know. So, and it will go like that. So hopefully it stays with the angle close to what we need. And it's off a little bit, but it will work. And now you will, so you won't glue right here. You will just glue the outsides. And try to get your line as close to the edge as you can. Now, press out from the center out. Don't press inside or you'll press excess glue into your pocket and kind of plug it up. So if there's any excess glue, you want it to come out and then you can wipe it. So there's your pocket. Do the same thing on this side. And there's the first one. So I'll go ahead and get these all done. Okay, so I've got all my pages ready to go. And so we're going to take some thin string or baker's twine. I'm going to use baker's twine. And you start on the outside, leaving a long piece at the end. And you're going to wrap it around so there's 10 inside. So 1, 2, and try to keep them in order, not to crisscross on the inside. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then leave a long edge here too. Oops. So keeping them in order, then you just want to kind of tuck that string under there. And then you're going to do the same thing with this string. Tuck under there. And you're going to tie it in a knot in the middle. And this is just, this will hold the pages, but it's also going to be decorative more on the outside. And kind of wants to go inside, so I'm going to do that. Just go around one more time with each string. Tie them in a bow now. And you can make this as large or small as you want. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to grab another string and I'm just going to go around my fingers, but I'm spreading out my fingers some so they will be bigger loops. And then just loop it in the middle. And I'm going to tie that into there as well. So it'll make more loops. Then tie it in a bow on top of all that. Then take your bow loops and tie them in a knot so they don't, and your bow stays put. And then just cut these as long or short as you want. And that's how it will be on your decorative edge outside. Now, these will hold each of your pages. So take your first one and put it inside the first string. And that is your first one. And you do the same thing with all 10 pages. That's why you needed 10 strings on the inside. Just get it to the center of the fold there and then fold over. And that's why you needed to keep your strings in order too, and straight with each other, the ends. And it gets a little trickier with each one going in. But you just keep doing this with all 10 pages. Okay, I've got all the pages in, so you can see your decorative outside. Here's the front, and then all the pages. And some have pockets, some don't. So you can use this as a photo album, a brag book, journal. You can put journaling papers in here, photos. You can put all kinds of different papers or ephemera to just keep track of things that your kids say, your grandkids say, anything you wanted to use this booklet for. And you've got pockets for all kinds of treasures, but many, many pages in it. And it's just a fun, fun album. And that's the way it looks on front. I did print off this little thing that this quote that I'm gonna put on the front, and it says, "Life brings simple pleasures to us every day. It is up to us to make them wonderful memories." And that was said by Kathy Allen. And so I'm gonna put that on there, but I'm going to put a piece of cardstock behind it. So I'm just gonna grab a scrap of my blue, and that will fit. So I'm just going to glue it on there. And you can put anything on the front that you'd want. In fact, I think I will update my tutorial, the digital tutorial to this album, and put these 3 quotes on in it. Because I have this one, and then what we do today, right now, will have an accumulated effect on all our tomorrows. Alexandra Stoddard. Don't give up when you still have something to give. Nothing is really over until the moment you stop trying. Brian Dyson. So I will put these in a PDF in the digital tutorial, and the link will be below this video. And I probably should have, I don't think I trust my cutting too well. So this needs to be, oops. There, that will look really cute. And just kind of finish it off. So I'm going to glue that really good. And put it right in the center, just kind of eyeballing it. I just need to look at it straight and make sure I've got it on straight while I have a few seconds to move it. And that is it for this project. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. I hope it inspires you to make something, to make this booklet and put your own spin on it. I would love to see your finished products. And the link to the digital tutorial with these added quotes will be below the video. Links to item I use, such as my trimmer, my glue, everything like that will be below. Measurements will be below. And thank you so much for watching. You have a whimsical day. Thank you.